after they engaged in a nasty back and forth with their up-top rivals that saw members on both sides disrespecting each other's dead friends. It started with FM, a noted Driftwood Crip affiliate, recording himself on Instagram Live walking up to Germ's memorial and urinating on it. For those who don't...
What? He's different in Toronto. Toronto, y'all getting down like that? Pissing on a grave? Hey, what it do, Mafia? It's your boy. AyeeMont. Look, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't know nothing about Toronto, but these last couple of reactions, we've been figuring out about Toronto. You feel me? It's March. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a little warm outside. Them block spinners is starting to come outside. The shooters is starting to come outside. So I advise you to stay inside. You know what I'm saying? But in today's video, we got Tales of Toronto, the crazy story of Lil BK. Which I think BK stand for? Lil Burger King? Or which I think it stand for? Like it's a first name and a last name? Because what the hell does BK stand for? You feel me? But look, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
A man is dead after a shooting that's being described as an ambush. It happened last night near Gosford Boulevard and Shoreham Drive, and it's one of 5 shootings overnight in the city.
Next to a violent 24 hours on the streets of the GTA. Shooting investigations underway in Brampton, Toronto, and Pickering.
Just blocks away, another shooting about 45 minutes later on Driftwood Avenue near Futura Drive. Police say multiple shots were fired at a house, one bullet penetrating the window and struck a man.
Oh, BK me blood killer. That's what it means, eh? That makes sense. That makes sense.
And who was rushed to hospital with serious injuries.
A 17-year-old has been arrested and charged in connection with 2 murders.
Tryna call me a reef and shit. She don't fuck on data shit. Got some shooters on your block, man. Stop, they ready to take your shit.
Lil BK.
Stop, they ready to take your shit. She don't fuck on data shit. Got some shooters on your block, man. Stop, they ready to take your shit.
Yeah. We ready to take your shit, brody.
As the summer of 2020 was wrapping up, the usually bustling city of Toronto was beginning to enact a citywide lockdown amidst the threat of a viral disease. City officials encouraged residents to stay home, but for this 17-year-old rapper, he had other plans. Beginning in August of 2020, he would embark on a shooting spree across the city that was followed up with even more bloodshed. The carnage created by the teen left city officials and even the mayor baffled, but what could have caused someone so young to be so destructive? Born January 7th, 2003, Lil BK was born into a life of chaos. His mother, who currently has 10 children, had her first child at 13 years old.
God damn. I don't be up here to judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them. You know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody going through. But 10 kids? First joint at 13 years old, ma? Damn, ma.
3 years later, BK was born. His father, who was 18 at the time, was barely...
What? What do you mean by that? Wait, hold on. Let's rewind it back. Hold on. Okay. I thought I had it mixed up. I thought they said he was 13. She was 13 and the father was 18, but no. At 16 years old is when she had him. Okay, cool. Okay, we understood it. Yeah, we understood.
3 years later, BK was born.
He wasn't. Chat. He wasn't 18 and she was 13. She was 16 when she had him. You get what I'm saying?
His father, who was 18 at the time, was barely in his life because he was incarcerated. BK was told his father had moved to Jamaica, but around the age of 13, he reunited with his father, who informed him of his true whereabouts. Although he was raised mostly by his mother, BK spent a good amount of time being cared for by his grandmothers and his great-grandmother. His maternal grandmother reported that she was involved in crime and gangs for over 25 years. Although she didn't specify which gangs, knowing the background of where BK is from, it would be fair to assume she had ties to the Southside Connection Bloods.
Oh shit.
The Southside Connection Bloods, aka the Connection Young Bloods, are a mid-sized African-Canadian street gang comprised of young adults from the Firgrove and Grassways community. better known as connections, Furgrove and Grassways are subsidized housing
real.
complexes located.
Hey, you in somebody hood. I mean, not somebody hood. You know your family knee deep in the trenches when grandmother was in the gang for 25 years. You know that. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. I always say a street worst nightmare is his grandmother, cause grandmothers don't give a f. They'll whoop your. They don't care about no sagging pants. They gon', grandmothers always tell you, hey, pull your pants up. They be like, pull your pants up, do this other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Located in the south side of Jane and Finch. The origin of the since demolished block's name varies, as some claim that it's in reference to the structural design of the connecting community housing buildings, while others claim it's because the neighborhood has long been an area known for drug addicts to connect with dealers. The Connection Bloods fall under the down bottom card as members have grown to become very territorial and loyal to their neighborhood with a strong sense of community pride that trickles down to the younger generation. Toronto police have noted the Connection Bloods are involved in an array of different criminal activities.
Iverson era.
Older members are known
you
for...
You can tell this the Allen Iverson era because he got the headband on with the cornrows. And yeah, this Allen Iverson influence right here, y'all.
Being more business-orientated, whereas their Crip rivals, who dwell north of Jane and Finch and fall under the up top card, are known as the aggressors in most conflicts between the two groups. Sometime in 2007, during the peak of the up top and down bottom feud, Joe Friesen, a reporter for the Globe and Mail, took the opportunity to interview residents on the south side, with one youth worker providing a detailed insight on the violence in the area. Bloods to the south have a more stable organization in which senior leaders look out for the young people in their communities, encouraging them to stay in school and steer clear of guns. Some even deal drugs to put themselves through university. The South guys don't want to beef with the North guys. The North guys are the killers. The South side guys are the moneymakers. They're not into the guns because they don't want the heat the guns bring, and they have older guys to tell them how to act. They don't have that mentorship in the North. The
so
lure
they don't
of
got
belonging,
guns, how they
status,
themselves?
And the potential money from selling drugs or theft caused many kids within Jane and Finch to choose membership with local crews, including Lil BK's maternal grandmother. Although she successfully rehabilitated herself since 2010 and even made efforts to help kids involved in a life of crime do the same, this wasn't the case for Lil BK.
Oh shit.
From losing countless friends.
Yeah, he always been in it. Yeah, he always been in it. Look at him, y'all. Yeah, he always been knee deep into some shit, bro. Look at this shit, man. He never had a chance. You feel me? Like, it's sad because he just like never had a chance.
Friends to gun violence, to witnessing death in front of him, BK experienced many traumatic events throughout his formative years. The first incident occurred when he was about 2 years old, when two men who had been shot entered his grandmother's home and collapsed. BK is reported to have stopped speaking for some time after witnessing this incident. At age 10, BK also witnessed his friend's brother in a body bag. Then, when he turned 11, BK's mother had a partner who was physically abusive towards him. As a result, he moved out to Alberta to live with his father, who was just recently released from prison. Unfortunately, because of his father's addiction issues and conflicts with the law, BK had to move back to Toronto after 6 months. With no real father figure in his life, BK looked up to the older males in his neighborhood, many of which were involved in serious criminality. Since BK was barely supervised by his parents and spent a considerable time on the streets of Southside Jane and Finch, it didn't take long for him to be negatively influenced by his peers. His earliest documented incidents of criminality were in elementary school. He attended 3 different ones, and in each, he received support through an individual education plan for behavioral concerns and attention issues. The plan included psyche evaluations and social work referrals, but it doesn't look like any of it worked, as he was suspended 19 different times from grades 1 through 8.
Damn! 19 times? My nigga. What the fuck? Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like, y'all ever been on behavior charts before? I ain't gonna lie, I was on behavior chart for 1 year in 2nd grade, y'all. Oh my goodness. I was the baddest kid in the classroom, bro. I tried to choke a kid out. I tried to do all types of shit, bro. I only got suspended twice. This nigga got suspended 19 times?
8 for fighting, profane language, and opposition to authority. The behavioral issues carried into high school, which he ended up dropping out of. To cope with his increasing mental health issues, BK started to abuse drugs. He first used marijuana at age 13 and has used it regularly since then. Then at age 15, he regularly consumed Percocet, alcohol, lean, and MDMA. His choice of drugs may have contributed to his decision to record himself driving through red lights in the west end of the city.
Oh yeah, because that brain ain't developed. Oh, that nigga listening to Baby J-Mo! That nigga listening to Baby J-Mo. Let me tell y'all something, man. I told y'all, you turn on one of them 37th members, man, and they gonna make you wanna go do some shit that you ain't even thought you was capable of doing. These niggas in Toronto listening to Baby J-Mo. Hop in that free car, we about to score. I told niggas the DMV influenced a lot of this modern day rap shit, bro. Listen to that shit. Listen to that shit.
Contributed to his decision to record himself driving through red lights in the west end of the city.
Hey, think we do red lights? We don't do red lights, buddy.
Shop some more.
Drive like shit.
All for the
All for the grade, I just took a sip. G30S and stuff to the dip.
Even with his constant struggles, BK was determined to make something of himself. Fortunately, by 2017, his friends from Connections started to make noise within Toronto's burgeoning rap scene. From Smiley to LB Spiffy to Doovie.
She be all over a nigga.
That's the Toronto B-Love right there.
Tell me what you really wanna.
Connections were quickly becoming the block to watch. This was a pivotal era for the scene since it was dominated by their up-top rivals for years. To further push the South Side movement, BK, who was just 14 at the time, decided to step into the music scene on March 25th, 2017, by dropping his first song.
On the block, we get these pesos. My 5 niggas screaming long live peso. Elegant, yeah, we get these pesos. So let me put Trey Pound on your ass. BK gon' damage your ass. 45, you know it gon' blast.
Featuring LD Bands, Jordan hit 40,000 views, which is pretty impressive considering it's his first release. The ball really started rolling for BK when he joined a music label called Never Had Shit, otherwise known as NHS. The crew has their fair share of hits, especially BK.
All this defense on my blog, man, it's like we climbed them. Man, it's like we clapped them. Put up niggas capping. J-Rock double pack, get my weed into lock.
Featuring fellow NHS member Kenzo, who is currently serving an 11-year prison sentence for engaging in a brazen gunfight in the west end of the city. Murda was the track that really put BK on the map. Sitting at 700,000 views, the music video depicts the rap collective simultaneously roaming the streets of Connections while uttering bars aimed at their rivals. Then came BK's biggest hit, featuring Doovie, the Connections-bred hitmaker himself. Two Sides of Me turned up the city, with some going as far as calling it the song of the year. The visuals, powered by videographer Reed of King B Productions, saw Doovie, BK, and their Southside affiliates cruising the streets of Connections in a bright orange Lamborghini while flashing cash, bottles, and jewelry. Two Sides of Me introduced a new sound to a scene that typically heard the same rhyme and flow for a near decade. Understandably, this got fans hyped as they were eagerly waiting for a change to the once repetitive scene. From 2018 to 2020, BK and NHS continued releasing hits, and with their distinct sound and look, they were destined to blow. However, come the fall of 2020, the rap collective went on a downward spiral after they engaged in a nasty back and forth with their up-top rivals that saw members from both sides disrespecting each other's dead friends. It started with FM, a noted Driftwood Crip affiliate, recording himself on Instagram Live walking up to Germ's memorial and urinating on it. For those who don't
These niggas different in Toronto. Toronto, y'all getting down like that? This nigga pissing on a nigga grave?
know, Germs is a Connections affiliate who was shot and killed in April of 2020 during a botched robbery. A few days later, BK recorded himself placing a blunt on a candle that was laid out for the late Driftwood affiliate and beloved rapper, Houdini. He later posted the footage on his Snapchat account. Now this was just the beginning. The disrespectful back and forth would initiate a violent gang feud that saw a domino effect of bloodshed and prison sentences.
Well, next to a violent 24 hours on the streets of the
Throughout August and September of 2020, Lil BK would engage in 5 different shootings across the city of Toronto. Hey, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? A rapper told me himself, he said, sometimes, Mont, you gotta put you gotta put down that mic and pick up a gun. You know what I'm saying? He told me that. You know what I'm saying? He said, because when they dissing your homies, he said, you feel that shit in your chest. He said, now when they start dissing my homies, I ain't on rap time no more. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? That same rapper is locked up for a body right now. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Damn, I got barbecue sauce on my fucking...
underway in Brampton, Toronto, and Pickering.
It all started on August 19th, 2020, when officers responded to a shooting near Mount Olive Drive and Kipling Avenue, a block known to foster the Mount Olive Crips, known rivals of the Connection Bloods. It's reported as many as 6 gunmen entered a residential community in the area on foot and opened fire on people outside around 6:10 p.m. 2 victims were struck by gunfire and later treated in hospital. The shooters took off in a white Mazda SUV and a silver Nissan sedan. A little over an hour later, at around 7:40 p.m., police were called to a shooting at another residential community near Shoreham Drive and Shoreham Court, known Driftwood Crip territory. At least 4 armed men on foot opened fire on citizens who were lingering outside. The suspects then fled in a white Mazda SUV. The shooting spree continued a month later on September 24th.
Oh, these niggas hit full blocks. Full blocks one day. One at 625. Oh, they spent the whole city. Them niggas spent the whole damn city. Look at this, y'all. They spent at 6:25 p.m. Then drove all the way over here. So they basically drove an hour and 10 minutes away to this joint, spun this right here. Then drove all the way back over here, spun them, and then drove down a little, you know what I'm saying, a little 45-minute ride, you know what I'm saying? Boom. I know what song they was listening to. They was listening to 25-minute drive.
At 6:25 p.m., in the area of 380 Driftwood Avenue, video surveillance captured 2 males drive up to the complex and exit a Toyota Corolla. Both males, one of them being BK, were armed with firearms. BK and his fellow gunmen fired several shots at a group of men standing near the complex, then ran back into their getaway car. An hour later, at a townhouse complex on the corner of Mount Olive and Kipling Drive, a man was observed walking toward a unit. The same Toyota Corolla is observed on video driving very slowly through the complex, following the path of the victim. The car then stops, and BK hangs out of the rear passenger side window and fires several rounds of shots. While 27 muzzle flashes are observed, only 7 casings were located at the scene. The victim was shot both in his left buttocks as well as his upper lip.
Come on, BK, you shoot niggas in the ass, bro. You shooting niggas in their ass cheeks, bro. You trying to make sure he feel that shit for the rest of his life. But come on, bro. You shoot niggas in the ass, though, bro. That's why I be saying you niggas don't got no aim.
Legs and had to be transported to Sunnybrook Hospital for treatment for his injuries. The 5th and final shooting occurred at approximately 8:32 p.m. 2 men, Anthony Martin and Tasrell Salmon, were playing dominoes with other individuals in the courtyard of 89 Gosford Boulevard. 4 males, at least 3 of whom were armed with guns, emerged and fired numerous gunshots in the direction of the courtyard, killing Anthony Martin and injuring Tasrell Salmon. Tasrell was shot underneath his right knee and received treatment. The bullet remains in his leg to date. After this final shooting, BK and his accomplices returned to the car and drove away. BK was captured on surveillance video about 20 minutes later with the 4 other males from the car in a residential building.
You leave them crime scenes, they gonna follow you all the way back to where you started. That's the fucking problem nowadays. It ain't 2007 when your father and them was getting away with hits because there wasn't no CCTV footages, or them drinks was like so bad, or they'll put a fake camera up on the block that don't work. Nope. It's not the 90s.
They were met by a 6th male known as TC, who took BK's shoes and gave him spare clothing. BK changed his clothing in the hallway, unaware a security camera was recording him. The camera also caught shell casings or cartridges falling to the floor as BK changed his clothes. He later appears to collect them using a bandana. The next day, the car used in the shootings was set on fire. Although BK's shooting spree was over, the gun violence didn't end. The next day, on September 26th, Duvey along with 2 other men were shot while attending a memorial for germs. Duvey suffered a gunshot wound to the leg, which he recovered from. 24 hours later, 2 more shootings would occur, both within an hour of each other. On September 27th, Toronto police responded to reports of a shooting at a townhouse complex on Mount Olive Drive, west of Kipling Avenue at around 7:30 p.m. At the scene, officers found 2 men in a hallway suffering from several gunshot wounds. They were both transported to Sunnybrook Hospital where one of them recovered, but the second man, 24-year-old Joseph Tyron Martelli, succumbed to his injuries. An hour later, police responded to a shooting call at 1 Shoreham Court. Upon arrival, police discovered Jonathan Rodriguez Sanchez suffering from a gunshot to his upper torso. He was immediately rushed to a local trauma.
All right, now, y'all sure y'all getting the right people? You sure you're hitting the right people now? Because that man looked like he didn't even have nothing going to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could be tripping, but y'all sure y'all just getting the right people. You get what I'm saying?
Suffering from a gunshot to his upper torso. He was immediately rushed to a local trauma center where he succumbed to his injuries a month later. The spree of gun violence alarmed Toronto police and even the mayor, who released a statement condemning the actions of the shooters. Toronto police knew they had to act fast to prevent further retaliation from rival crews, so on September 30th, they executed search warrants on the car and on the residence of TC.
Hold the hell up. September 30th, 2020? You niggas was shooting during the pandemic. You supposed to be inside, not touching shit, not being by nobody. You niggas is shooting during the pandemic. What be wrong with you niggas? That's what we doing? Y'all was, so when you supposed to be in the crib, you know what I'm saying, having a good time with your family, social distancing, you know what I'm saying, staying 6 feet away from somebody, y'all is outside shooting and spinning. That's what I be saying, y'all. Priorities be fucked up. You is not supposed to be catching the coronavirus, but instead you is trying to get it by shooting and pulling up on blocks, hopping out cars and all this other shit.
Located a pair of black jeans that were consistent with the jeans worn by BK on the evening of his shooting spree. BK's DNA and particles of gunshot residue were found on the jeans. In the torched car, the police located a spent casing that matched the casings located at the 89 Gosford shooting. A little over a week later, on October 10th, Toronto police issued a Canada-wide warrant for the arrest of then 17-year-old Lil BK. Instead of turning himself in, BK went on the run. While doing so, he posted several photos and videos to his Instagram, even dropping a few music videos, all of which hinted that he was still in the city and wasn't afraid to show face. However, his run didn't last long. He eventually came to his senses and turned himself in on November 30th.
They hit me with the 2nd degree, but they don't know that I'll be home very soon. Free me. Yeah, you know a nigga not coming home when he said I'll be home very soon. That's like every nigga saying I'll be home very soon. And then they'll get 25 years to life.
Despite being suspected of being the triggerman in 5 different shootings within a 2-month period, he was only charged in relation to the incident involving Anthony Martin and Tasrell Salmon. He was hit with 1 count of 2nd-degree murder and 1 count of aggravated assault. BK was sent to the Roy McMurtry Youth Center where he was involved in 12 incidents of aggressive conduct, including assaults and threatening behavior. He was aggressive and defiant with staff, and at one point, restraints were required to control him because he was not open to being redirected when angry. He was then transferred to Ray of Hope Youth Center in May of 2021. He remained at Ray of Hope for about 2 weeks, and during that time, there were 5 incidents of aggression. He was again transferred to another facility for 5 days, where he was involved in an assault on a staff member. At the beginning,
maybe this nigga do need some psych evaluation. This nigga can't stay out of trouble.
Beginning of June of 2021, BK was transferred for a 3rd time, this time to Arel Youth Center. His conduct since his transfer to Arel has slightly improved. Although he was involved in an assault on a staff member shortly after his arrival, He had no further incidents of aggression until 2 confrontations with another youth in April of 2022 and an incident a month later when he pushed a staff member. Since these incidents, BK has not been involved in acts of physical aggression, and with the benefit of a highly structured school program at Arrel, he completed high school while in custody.
There we go,
On
BK.
December 13th, 2022, sentencing would begin. BK entered a guilty plea for second-degree murder. Due to the severity of his crimes, the Crown submitted a request for BK to be sentenced as an adult, but since he was 17 when he committed his crimes, he was sentenced accordingly. Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, the charge of second-degree murder carries a max sentence of 7 years. BK was hit with the max, plus 2 years for the aggravated assault charge. To top it all off, he was handed a lifetime firearms ban. 5 years of his sentence will be in custody, while the remaining 4 will be spent under conditional supervision in the community.
Oh, this nigga got a slap on the wrist. He gotta be home now, right? Toronto. Y'all law system is fucked up. Yeah, alright. In the DMV, 17-year-old committed murder. We'll see you in 25 years, buddy. Oh my. Welcome home, BK. Shit, he about to come home. Welcome home, BK. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We on the road to 50K, and we out.